Okay, let's get the ball rolling. Daniel, I'll allow you to get the kickoff and then we'll take it from there.
All right. So, hello, everybody. My name is Daniel Viana. I'm a senior product marketing manager here at ApplyBoard. And welcome to our very first What's New on ApplyBoard platform webinar. This is a series of quarterly webinars where we recap the most important launches we had over the last 3 months, and where we also introduce some new product capabilities that we are releasing in the upcoming weeks for all our recruitment partners. Here today, our presenters will be Masi Vasidi. I believe you all know him. He is the co-founder and president and he will have the company of 3 of our product managers, Devashish Sharma, Hamed Karimian, and Philip Roberts. For today's session, Masi will provide us with a quick 2024 recap and also some insights about what's coming in 2025. Devashish will introduce a new feature that allows you to buy English test vouchers directly on the platform. Hamed will show us the new design of the application page and how it provides a much easier experience when managing an application. Philip will explain the recent enhancements in our search tool and how they have improved the overall experience when searching for programs. And finally, at the end, we're going to have some time for your questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A area here in Zoom. We'll be answering questions, of course, about the features we're covering today. But if you have questions related to other features, we'll get back to you via email. Okay? So, Masi, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Daniel. I just want to make sure the audience sees the screen before we get the ball rolling. Thumbs up, maybe something into the chat. I'm not sure if Daniel, you need to reshare the screen or not.
Screen is good.
Okay, so like right now you should be seeing a slide to unlock the potential of every aspiring mind. Is that what we are all seeing? Yes, no?
Yes, Messi.
Beautiful. Awesome. Namaste. I hope everybody has a great day so far. Happy New Year. Hopefully it's been a great first 2 weeks of your year. The team and I are excited to go through the webinars today, our first product series webinar. So expect more of these to come. I appreciate all the participants and who were able to register and join. Can't wait to tackle the session today with you all. To just get the ball rolling before we get to a high-level milestone recap of 2024. So to just get the ball rolling, this is nothing news to you guys, but perhaps a reminder of why ApplyBoard exists. ApplyBoard, the intent for us is really to unlock the potential of every aspiring mind. Something that is important to acknowledge is for the collective of us to enable the students to reach their dream and make their dream a reality. All recruitment partners, including you, play a critical role. So thank you for that. And thank you for being part of that rewarding journey of the students. And our role in ApplyBoard is to ultimately empower you through our platform and enable you to have access to as many schools as you get so that you can best counsel and enable your students into that study abroad journey. With that said, let's go quickly and do a quick recap of 2024. So that would be the next slide, Daniel. As far as which in a screen shall rather not be a news for everybody. And maybe you guys can blow the chat up if these names and what I'm going to shortly cover rings a bell. But in 2024, we had 3 big launches. One was Abby. For those of you guys who were in TRW last year, Abby got introduced. By now, all gold and platinum RP should have access to Abby. So if you haven't tried it out, please do. Abby is the first worldwide AI advisor that ultimately enabled the user and enables you to have access to insight, application status. The opportunities are limitless. There isn't any question that you can't ask Abby and you can't get an answer. Like I mentioned, all platinum and gold RP at this point of the time have access to Abby. So whether you're an owner or a counselor joining us today, so please make sure you try that. Next to Abby, we also came out with our revised search point 2. Our AI-powered search ultimately takes 10 years of ApplyBoard data and history into consideration in addition to the data we get from the industry, such as RCRC data, and provides our customers and our recruitment partner with the ability to find the highest chance and success type program for their students. Like I said, it takes millions and millions of data over 10 years into consideration to figure out what's the best fit for your students to ultimately increase the conversion and the chance of enrollment, such as the criteria that we'll take into consideration aside from historical data and conversion of those applications are also includes data such as seat capacity and so on, and how competitive a program might be. So the AI powered search is built within. So as long as you're on search, and my colleague Phil will do a small demo later today. So as long as you're on search and you use the best recommendation filter, you naturally will get empowered by those recommendations. Last big milestone, but not the least, was the expansion of our value add services to the financial services such as GIC and loan, which I'm sure you all probably know by now. Next to the English assessment test, and the intent is here to continue expanding the value add services or essentially other study abroad needs that the students may need to have access to along with that journey. Of course, we're here trying to quickly recap the big items. The intent is not to go through all features, but I'm sure you probably all are thinking a few smaller features such as task management, commission withdrawal, and so on. But like I said, the intent in this upcoming webinar series, which we intend to keep every quarter, if not sooner, is so we can keep you folks in loop with what's coming. Now, with that said, to give you a sneak peek at 2025 and what to expect, they're going to be a 5-pillar of investment for us. And I hope you all can resonate. And of course, as we come to the Q&A session and the feedback session, please enable us with more of your feedback so that ultimately our product manager know where to invest more time and resources. As far as 2025, there are 5 main pillars of a focus for us, and that's what we intend to, that's where we intend to play. So with the first one being reach, so the intent here is to empower you folks to have a greater access to more institution, more schools, and also more value add services, right? Again, as of yesterday, for example, as of actually Monday, for example, all gold and platinum RP now have access to Germany market. We're not in a full launch, but that kind of reassures the intent here. We should expect more destination and more value add services to be added in 2025. So keep an eye out for that. The next pillar of a focus becomes conversion. When we engage with different recruitment partners, we recognize that the funnel of the students might look widely different from one RP to another RP. So what they intend with conversion is we want to make sure that ultimately you can maximize your leads to the greatest possible outcome, meaning more money, more revenue, and more students reaching their dream. So whether we look at it search, whether you look at some of our other upcoming enhancement and innovation, the intent is really to empower you and your counselors to have a greater conversion and success with as many students they coach and counsel. Speed. I'm sure a lot of you guys can resonate to speed and the importance of the speed. So the intent is, and we have a lot of exciting announcement coming up late mid-year around the speed of application processing and how the world is going to get completely revolutionized in a way that you probably have never imagined. So certainly stay tuned on that. If you're joining us on TRW, there's going to be a very exciting announcement surrounding the speed of application processing and how you will be put into the driver's seat. So please make sure you keep an eye for the next upcoming webinar or join us on TRW. Lots of exciting innovation on this pillar. And of course, the second last one is expertise. Regardless of what our role is in a student study abroad journey, we all play a role in ensuring that students have access to the most up-to-date information so that they can ultimately make the right decision. So now, as ApplyBoard, we also play a role for you folks. So we want to make sure as you folks are empowered and enabled to have access to the most trusted information and partners so that you can best counsel and update your students. Last but not least, which we briefly touch base, is the intent for ApplyBoard platform is to be an all-in-one platform. ApplyBoard initially started with an ecosystem that you can find a school or program. The intent is not to limit ourselves there. The intent is really to get broad and enable you as a counselor or owner where you can have access to all your studies, all student study abroad needs, whether that's financial, whether that's tests, whether down the line that's visa, accommodation, job, and so on. So the intent is to increase the reach and the type of service offerings you can bring to your students. With that said, today, as Daniel made a quick introduction of my colleagues, we got three of our amazing product manager who intend to walk you through different segment of some of our latest enhancement and innovation. With that said, I'm going to pass it to Devish, who has some exciting news to share with you about how you can enable your student to save money on their English test and also utilize that avenue as a mean to generate more income. We all recognize that 2024 has brought us a lot of challenge in context of demand. So it's critically important for all of us to enable ourselves and enable you to have the means to generate more income. With that said, I'm going to pass it to Devashish.
Awesome. Thank you, Massey. Hi, everyone. My name is Devashish, and I lead ApplyBoard Test Services. Good to see so many people joining from different parts of the world. Maybe quickly in chat, if you guys can write, where are you guys joining from? And if you guys deal with English tests for your students, whether that is IELTS, PT, I'll just quickly wait maybe like 10 seconds. I see one person replying. This is also a check if where is the audience from. Amazing, amazing. Different parts, amazing. Daniel, if you move to the next slide. As we all know, when a student starts their study abroad journey, they have to take a very important step of writing their English test. Some of the popular ones are IELTS, TOEFL, PT, the names that you see on the screen. And they are very popular in South Asia so far. But with the new policy changes, they're also becoming increasingly important in other parts of the world, especially Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, and Middle East. Previously, students from these regions may not have to write tests, but now they have to. And to book the test, they have to go to the official website of these test providers, and pay the full fee. Now, mind you, these tests are not very cheap. They are roughly between $100 to $300 and mostly on the higher end. And as we all know, students are always looking to save money at any point of time. Daniel, go to the next step. But the good news is that these test providers have an exclusive official product for partners like you in the form of test vouchers, where you can help your students save money by booking their test directly with test vouchers. The way it works is that, say, for example, you have to book PTE tests, which roughly cost $200. If you book it directly on the website, you will have to pay the full amount, but you can buy the test voucher for the same test at roughly 10% discount, so say $180, and use that to book the exam. This way, you save $20 for your student. Now, it is up to you, and this is the beautiful part, whether you want to give the whole $20 discount to the student, or you want to keep $15 discount to them and keep $5 for yourself and earn money in the process, right? And we learn more about how you can use this for your business. Daniel, go to the next one. And as you understood, like the student is looking to save money and you help them save money, it is a great way for you to generate leads for your business. And because tests comes really early in the journey, you can not only help them with tests, but you can also help them with any service that comes afterwards, whether that is your academic counseling, whether that is loans, whether that is housing, all the beautiful services that you bundle and package them for the student. Now, for some of the partners who also have sub-agents or who have a network of agents that they're part of, this also works really well on the B2B side, where you can buy in bulk and negotiate a better price for the voucher, and not only sell to your student, but also sell to other agents in your network, right? In India, this has been a game changer for some of our partners. I'm sure some of the audience that is joining from India, they can resonate with it, where they would buy, say, 500 vouchers, keep 50 for their own students, and then resell the remaining ones for the agents in their network. This way, they make money not only from the students, but also from other agents and have a recurring monthly cash flow. Isn't that beautiful? Daniel, go to the next one. We'll quickly see on how you can use these vouchers to book a test for your student. Say, for example, you have to book PTE test. You will go on the official website and you click on book a test. Daniel, keep pressing next. This is a quick one. And then you fill in the details for the student, you fill in their names and any credentials that is needed for the test provider. And then when you go to the final payment screen, you would see that there is an option to pay with a voucher code. Next, in the voucher code section, because this is from India, the price of the test is 17,000 rupees. But if you buy the voucher, which would look something like this, go next, which would look an alphanumeric number like this, you can actually buy the test voucher for 15,000 rupees or 300 from us, which is roughly 10% discount, and then use that voucher to book the test. This way, a 17,000 rupee test is actually costing you 15,000 rupees, and you save 2,000 rupees in between. And this voucher is valid for 6 months. So even if you buy in advance, you have 6 months to use this and help your students down the line. And once again, the 2,000 rupees you save, you can, it's up to you. If you just want to charge the student 15,000, or if you want to charge the student 16,000 and keep 1,000 rupees with you while still helping them save enough money. Next, we'll quickly see a short demo on how you can buy the vouchers from ApplyBoard Test Services. I'll just share my screen. So the exciting part is that now the vouchers can be bought directly from your ApplyBoard dashboard. When you log in, you see a home page like this. And on the left-hand side, you have an option in the menu called Test Services. When you click on Test Services, you will be taken to a screen which would look something like this, where all the products that are available in your country will be listed. This specific account is from India, so you can see the products are India specific, the pricing is India specific. And if you want to buy any voucher, you can just click on buy now, and you will be shown a cart page where you can change the quantity. You can select however many vouchers you want, and then just simply check out, and a pop-up will come where you can proceed with the payment. Once you make this payment, the vouchers will be delivered directly into your inbox as an email, and it will also have the steps on how you can use the voucher to book the test. So it's a simple 2-step process. Any questions you have at any point, you can always reach out to our support email mentioned over here. Now, this feature is available currently in India. So if you are from India, you can directly go there and start buying it. But if you're from outside of India, the great news is this feature will be available to you by the end of this week. And you will be able to buy vouchers directly from your ApplyBoard dashboard. We'll also be sending you emails to let you know when it is live with some welcome offer. And we would also be letting you know once again how you can benefit from this. Daniel, back to you. So to summarize, Daniel, just go back to the previous screen, please. To summarize, ApplyBoard Test Services is a one-stop shop for all these test products. As you saw, you can not only just buy one test, you can buy all the tests. You don't have to go separately to TOEFL, separately to PTE, single place. You can get access to everything at the best possible price. And you have instant delivery, simple 2-step checkout process like Amazon. I'm sure you must have used online e-commerce in your country. And then it gets instantly delivered in your email. Now, the big news is also that if you are in your you can not only pay for these vouchers in your local currency, but you can also pay now with your local payment options. So if you are in Nepal, if you are in Nigeria, if you are in Indonesia, you just have to use your local debit and credit card, or if a mobile wallet is popular in your country, you can pay with that as well and get the vouchers directly to you. Good. Next, these are my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me on WhatsApp or email, and my colleague Gaurav, you can also reach out to him. He's based out of India, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have with ApplyBoard Test Services. I'm also sharing it in chat, but since you guys came up, you can take a screenshot or it's in chat as well. But since you guys came up to our webinar and have been an amazing audience, we'd like to give you an exclusive offer where you can get extra $10 off on your PTE purchase and extra $5 off on Duolingo purchase. All you have to do is scan the QR code and fill in a form, and we will reach out to you personally to help you with the next steps. If you cannot scan, I'm also copy pasting the link in the chat. You can feel free to sign up over there and either me or Gaurav will be reaching out to you for the next steps. Thank you and have a great day.
Wonderful, Devashish. Thank you so much. I appreciate the quick demo and showing our recruitment partner how they can get access to all type of tests and enable their students and ultimately convert that lead. Before we go to the next segments, I'd love to populate 2 questions on your screen. You're going to see them individually, and I would love for all the audience if you can just take a moment and quickly answer the question. So you should see the first question on your screen, which says, are you the agency owner or a staff member joining us today? If you are on your screen, take a quick 20-second, complete this first question. I'll give you another 10-second, and then we'll launch the second question. Okay, let's move to the second question. You should now see another pop-up appearing on your screen in any second. Beautiful. So now you should see the second question on your screen. And that question should be, when using search, how often do you find appropriate result? Meaning appropriate, meaning relevance, like what you were expecting, you achieved. How often when you run our search or you do a search on ApplyBoard, you find the results to be relevant to what you would be looking for. We'll give you another 15 seconds to complete these questions, 5 seconds, and then we'll move on to the second segment of our webinar today. Okay, so now here I got another of our amazing product manager, Hamid Karimian, who will walk you through some of the latest updates on the application page, and most importantly, what's coming and what to expect. With that said, Hamid, I'm gonna pass it to you so you can give us some idea around what the intent is and what are we planning around the application page, and perhaps why are we making some of the changes coming up.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So let's look at this page. I'm confident that you all have seen this page before. If you haven't, you might not be an ApplyBoard participant here. So if you see, this is the main application, the main with the, like everything application related, from the sidebar that shows the school information and application information to the right part of the page where you actually fulfill those requirements, right? And as you can see, this is a crowded page with so many different functionalities. You might have been confused at some point using this page. So we are trying to revamp this whole page to get rid of this outdated UI, which is not accessible for all the users with accessibility related issues. Or if you have ever used it on mobile device, you might have felt like that, okay, it's not as responsive as it should be on the mobile device, right? So we're trying to fix these issues. And also, it was not easy to scan quickly about the information that you are trying to capture, right? So these are a list of the issues that we were facing on this page, and that's why we're trying to change it. So if you go to the next slide, this is how it will ultimately look like. So Daniel, please, if you go to the next slide, there we go, perfect. So in the new view, we will have a page header like this that shows the most important information about that application, including the school name, school logo, the program name, and so on at the top. Then we have the left bar, which is organized way of showing all the different information that you might seek to find on the page. In the middle of the page, you will have the list of all of those requirements that you will be working on to fulfill and to get processed by ApplyBoard and be approved and so on and so forth. And then on the right side, we will show that application journey tracker. So you can track basically whatever is happening to your application, whether the application fee was paid or what are some of the ETAs of the processing times and so on and so forth. And if there's any deadline for any of these steps, it's clearly showing on that application journey. As you can see, and I hope that this one is cleaner and better. So let's see how this will be.
Well, Hamid,
yeah,
it looks nice, but if I'm sitting as one of our recruitment partner in the audience, I would probably say, thank you, it looks nice, but what value do you intend to bring for us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Basically, if it's as you see, it's cleaner, smarter interface with reduce the number of requirements. So with cleaning up that we are doing, we are removing any unnecessary requirement on the page. We are merging the ones that could be related to one another to reduce the number of requirements for everyone, to make it easier to navigate. And also it's more readable and streamlined layout. The other feature that we have introduced is the revising answers. So if any of the requirement gets rejected for any reason, you can click on that revise answers button, and I will show you in a minute how that exactly works. But you explicitly see all the rejection reasons, and you can act upon based on that. Also, we have this kind of concept of draft mode. So you might want to just upload something, but you don't want to submit it right away. So you can come back to that and submit it later on. And I will show all of those things in a minute. But the other feature, basic not feature, it's an enhancement to the whole page that we are adding, is to make it accessible for everyone. And we are WCAG level A+ compliant, which is the standard and a good level of accessibility compliant, so everyone can use our website both on the desktop and the mobile.
That's great news. I'm sure many of our recruitment partners appreciate more empowerment and more ability to be into the driver's seat once it comes to the application processing. Hamid, you mentioned this is a line series of work. So I expect, as you were showing the previous slide, the audience is not going to get all of that page overnight. It's going to be changes coming in incrementally. So can you maybe tell us more about what's live already and what's coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you saw, this is a huge page, right? With a ton of different functionalities, a ton of different components, and we're doing one component at a time. And so far, we have upgraded the applicant requirements tab and the sidebar. Those two are already live for some of the selected schools, and we will expand it to all schools in the next week. And then in our plans for the Q1, basically, so by the end of Q1, we will have a notes tab upgraded, page header added to the page, and application tracking system upgraded and moved from the top of the page to the right side of the page. So it makes it clearer for everyone to navigate on that page and get the most out of it. Awesome.
That's awesome, Hamid. I'm sure many of our recruitment partners I've interacted in past, they always called out the application tracking and how they would love to get a greater insights around what to expect and how to manage the students' expectation. Since we already have you here, I would love to put you on a hot spot and then have you do a quick demo of what's already out there. If it is possible for you to share your screen and walk us through quickly to perhaps how do we go as a recruitment plan, how do we go about fulfilling a requirement into the new design?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen and walk everyone through what we just discussed. So this is basically the page that I was talking about, right? As you can see, it doesn't look good right now because we have updated just part of the components, part of the page, but this is just the beginning. So ultimately it will look as nice as what I showed you in that screenshot. But right now, as I said, the applicant requirements tab is updated. So we have different design for these requirements, and I will go over the sidebar as well, which is also reorganized and cleared out. And since we are running behind a little bit, I'm trying to keep it a little bit shorter than what I planned. And to answer your question, Massey, basically, so first of all, on this page, you can see different sections for different types of the requirements, the ones that were rejected by ApplyBoard, the ones that are to complete by applicant, meaning that you need to take action on, as well as the rejected ones. And there are a bunch that could be in review by ApplyBoard, so you need to wait a little bit for ApplyBoard to process them, and the approved ones as well. And you can expand any of these sections to see all just the section that you want to see. And also, if I expand these ones and I want to filter just to see the to complete by applicant ones and the rejected ones, maybe I just want to work on these ones and I don't care about the approved ones anymore. So we can filter those ones out as well this way. But to answer your question, Massey, let's take one of these requirements as an example. So let's take, for example, English language proficiency. So it says this is what you need to do, and you can start by providing answers from here, or you can click on this details button to see an expanded version of it, and right now there is nothing that has been provided, and it's still in the to complete by applicant status. So I will click on provide answers. It asks which English test we want to provide. Maybe I say IELTS or TOEFL or whatever the answer is on your end. And as soon as I click on that, it gets saved, right? Meaning that your response was saved, but it doesn't mean that it was submitted yet. So if I close this modal and I go back, it's still in the to complete by applicant, but it says that one of the questions answered, right? So if you go and come back later on, nothing is missed. You can still continue from where you left the page. And if I click
And
next,
that's what you meant by draft comment?
sorry, what's that?
Is that what you meant by the answers will be in draft mode earlier?
Exactly. So this is our definition of the draft mode, right? Because everything is saved, but so you will not lose anything, but it's not submitted yet. So you can play around with it, make any adjustments that you feel like. Maybe tomorrow the student comes back to you and says, oh, I mistakenly said IELTS, but I actually took TOEFL. So you can make any adjustments before submitting your responses. Okay, anyway, so you select IELTS, you click next, you browse a file. Let me browse one example here. If you upload a document that's not supported, this is an example of that. I hope it gives you an error message. Oh, it was actually supported, so good, why not? Let's move on. I had another unsupported one. Why did I upload this one? Let me try again. Okay, there we go, this one. It's not supported, so it gives you an error that says, okay, it's not supported, so you need to make changes to that. But anyway, if I go back to the one that was actually supported, there we go. You can click review, so you can have another look at the answers you provided and the documents you uploaded, and then you click submit. But here's the point. Once you click submit, it means that you are handing it over to us. So you can't make any adjustments after this point to this specific requirement, and you need to wait for ApplyBoard to make a decision on it. Either approve it or reject it. But okay, I'll click submit, and there we go. It says it's successfully submitted to ApplyBoard, and the status changes to in review by ApplyBoard, and you can't make any changes to this one anymore. You can see the document you uploaded. You can see that it's in review. So all the details are provided here, but you can't make any adjustments from now on. So this is basically how.
Awesome, Mohammed. So
Yeah.
we have you. Do you mind just quickly show us how we can fulfill a rejected requirement? You had an example where a requirement was rejected by ApplyBoard after the initial submission.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the previous one is in the in review by ApplyBoard section now, so we need to wait for ApplyBoard to make a decision on it. But to answer your question, this is the rejected section, right? And I see that this is clearly in red condition. We need that means we need to make some action on it. And the revised document is right here. And if I click on the details view, it shows all the documents that I have provided here. So in this case, it's a grade 12 high school. So I uploaded a 12 mark sheet, which is okay. So this one is all right. But I've mistakenly uploaded an IELTS here as well. And the ApplyBoard says, okay, this is not a transcript. We need you. This is the message that you can clearly see what is wrong with this application, with this document, and what you need to adjust. Also, if you click on this C evaluation history, it shows the additional information about your previous attempts. So it shows all the details around when you submitted something and what happened to that try. But to answer your question, Massey, when I check all of these details around this requirement, I can click on revise my answers. And again, any issue with any of the documents is mentioned here. So I can make any adjustment. I say, oh, I mistakenly uploaded this one. This is just enough. I click review and I submit. So pretty straightforward. You make any adjustments that you want and submit it based on the information you get.
That's awesome. I know in past when I interacted with recruitment partner, they often ask for that evaluation history because they acknowledge that the counselor of the student sometimes could change throughout the process. So I'm sure many will appreciate the ability to go back and look on some of the previous interaction with us. So while we have you, you mentioned the sidebar. Can we maybe perhaps get you to quickly cover the sidebars and perhaps Like I know that we used to be able to add backup program from there. And tell us more about backup program.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we say sidebar, we're referring to this section, which is collapsed right now because the main focus was on this part. But you can always expand it if you want to see everything side by side, or I can close this section to focus more on this sidebar for now. And to answer your question about backup programs, that's part of the application detailed, right? That's something related to the application itself. So you can find it in the application detail section, and it's this part. But before I get to that, let me quickly tell you a little bit what's happening here, right? So I'm seeing the application ID, I see where I'm applying to, the program, the school. There are links to those pages if you want to take another look. And it's confirmed that this application for Canada and so on and so forth. So you can get all of the information that you want from this sidebar in an organized way, right? We'll have this insight. I'll get to that in a minute. The application status right now is here. We will update this part as well. And then the student details, everything related to student, everything related to exams, the TOEFL exam that I've taken in this test application, and all the payment details as well. But getting back to your question, Massey, so backup programs are actually a really important part of anyone's application. So we highly recommend to add backup programs to any application. But what does that even mean? So backup programs are the programs that you select that the student is eligible for, and it's for the same school. So if anything happens to your main application, which is this one, the school can offer you another thing for one of those backup programs, basically. So you don't lose any time, and you significantly increase your chances of getting an offer letter from that school. So we highly recommend adding backup programs to any of your main applications. In this case, I've already added 2 backup programs, but I can still click on edit backup programs. I can see the list of those things here. I can remove this one because the student is not interested in accounting, for example, but they might want another thing. So this is the list of all of the programs that the student is eligible for and are for the same school. So in this case, Yorkville University, but I'm okay with energy management as well as a student, let's assume. And you can add up to 3 backup programs, right? But look at this. So I updated and it gets updated here. Okay, there we go. It's successfully added and it gets added to this page. And you can always
Comment.
that you don't want.
So backups programs are for the same school in the case that initial application faced any issue throughout the process. You showed us quickly on the Insight card. What's that? What's the difference between the program recommendation we see in Insight card and the backup program? And why should a recruitment partner consider using them?
Absolutely. So this is the backup. As you said, if anything goes wrong with the main application, we default back to the backup program. But let's look at some insights that we get for this main application. In this case, it says your success score is really low, right? Meaning that there's a low chance you can get an offer for this application. But why? Why is that happening? So it says seats are filling up so quickly for this intake, right? So it's a problem about the intake. So in this case, if you click on change intake, that, okay, for April 2025, which is very close to today, there are not so many seats available. So your chance is almost like, I wouldn't risk that for my student. And this one, 0%. Apparently, this one is either full already or it's not opened yet for any reason. They're not getting admissions for this one. But if you look at this intake, it says 96%. So I'd rather be on the safe side, even if I can lose a few months, but I have a higher chance of getting admission for this intake. So I'll change this one. If I change the intake, there we go. And then it says your success score is really high for now. So this is also another trick to increase your chances of getting admission.
That's wonderful, Hamid. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and definitely we appreciate those features that you highlighted and how we can enable recruitment partner with it, increase the chance by providing us on backup as a default fallback, or by just looking at the insights to take certain actions or consider other additional program. With that said, I know we're running a bit behind the time, so we appreciate your patience. Phil, another of our amazing product manager who looks after search, it's next. Phil, I know we're running behind time, so I'd love to go quick here. But perhaps you can maybe just show us some of the latest enhancements we have. And I got a couple quick questions from you, but I'll leave you. I'll let you take it away.
Absolutely, yeah. Daniel, if you just go to the next slide, I'll just quickly do a summary. So we made a lot of features. Sorry, I know we're short on time. Hi, I'm Phil, by the way. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Last year, and so next slide, yeah, that stay there. We made a lot of changes to search. We knew at the beginning of last year we were getting a lot of feedback that we had a new search engine and people weren't terribly happy with some of the features we did. We invested a lot of time, a lot of energy into updating search. And search at the end of the day, as Massey's already alluded to at the beginning of the call, is backed up by artificial intelligence. So in the background, it's doing all the work to bring to you the programs that essentially will give you the highest chance of enrollment success. So if you have what we call the best match turned on by default on search, you should always return programs to the top of your search that will give you the highest chance of enrollment success for your students. So I will take it away on a demo. So I'll run you through some of the features. I think you need to hand it off to me somehow, Daniel. Okay, I am going to share my screen. Here we go. Hopefully you'll see search any minute now. Okay, you're seeing
So
that?
look, Phil,
Yes.
perhaps as you go through the screen, I'd love to show you if you could just maybe help us quickly find maybe bachelor programs in computer science at Algoma. I know you
Absolutely.
mentioned that there is auto suggest that I know a lot of our recruitment
Yeah.
partners have asked for. So maybe you can quickly just show us that.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate on that last point around the AI doing the work. So this best match ranking here, so always try to ensure that's enabled, and look out for some enhancements actually coming in the next couple of months. We're doing a lot of work a lot of investment into the improvement of the AI in terms of the results set. So I'm going to do computer science. So this is the auto suggest field of study. So the minute I start typing, it'll start coming up with popular suggestions. Simply click on that. I'm going to do, why has that happened? I'm going to log back in again. Of course, that's typical. Just 1 second here.
So while you look that up, once you showed us maybe like a bachelor program at Algoma, I love to see a couple more things. Maybe you can quickly just give us some idea around the eligibility. I love to see how, as a recruitment partner, we can limit the result to certain geography. Let's say, for example, Ontario. So maybe while you're at it, show us those 3 quick use cases.
So I'm going to do computer science again. Sorry for the quick, it just obviously logged me out just at the right time. And I'm going to then go Ontario. So if I'm going to search for a university or a school in Ontario, the best thing to do is try to minimize the search to a location if you can. You're going to get a better set of results when you come to look for an institution. And then so I'm going to look for Algoma University. I'm going to do another university as well, just for I can. So I'll do Trent. So you can see that I can use actually text search here and select all campuses. And then lastly, I'm going to choose my program levels, which is basically a 3- and 4-year bachelor's degree here. And now you'll see the results of return. So I have 16 programs returned for that particular search. If you want to check student eligibility, I'm not going to go and do this now because time is a bit short. But what I'll do is I'll get onto some of the other features here, Massey, as well. So student eligibility, again, we invested in this particular feature. So you can select either a student that you've already got a profile for. If you select a student that you already have a profile for, it will only return the results based on that student's eligibility. So if that student's only eligible to say 4 out of those 16 programs, it will just only return 4 programs. The other side of that is we have a guest student as well. So if you don't have a student profile, you have somebody walking in the door, for example, you can create the guest student profile to do some quick searching. What I will do is, because I've got 16 results, I'm going to use what we call the filter chips here. So you see, as I apply filters, it's reminding me which filters I have applied. And what I'm going to do is expand this search out a little bit further to see what else is available outside of outside of Ontario by including British Columbia as well. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll kill the school filters, and the way to do that is just simply by clicking on the filter chips here and then going back to my destination search, and I'm going to search for British Columbia, text search, and then British Columbia has been added. And now looking at computer science 3 and 4 year bachelor's degrees in British Columbia and Ontario, you can see I've got 154 programs returned, which is quite a lot. And at the top of the screen, as mentioned, what's being returned are the programs that have the best match or the highest chance of success. And as mentioned, look out for more changes there in the coming couple of months. Actually, so by the end of February, we hope to have done another iteration and improvement on our best match ranking.
That's awesome, Phil. And I know many folks might ask, like, in such how many destinations I can see. As a reminder, you should be able to see UK, USA, Canada, Australia, and Ireland. And I mentioned as a teaser earlier on, as of this Monday, all platinum and gold RP also have access to Germany. Phil, before we finish your segment, one feature that continuously recruitment partners have asked for that ultimately enables them in a white label format to counsel their students better and enable them to make the decision, it's on the compare feature. They want to have an ability to show a student the compare of two programs in a white label. I know that you mentioned that we have that on search. I would love you to finish this segment by showing us the compare feature and how could a counselor use that.
Absolutely, yes. So the compare feature, I think, is something that's been around for some time and people aren't necessarily aware of, Massey. To toggle on the compare feature, there's this button here. You click on compare, and then you can compare up to 10 programs side by side and share that with a student. So I'm just going to compare two. I'm going to select this one, and then if I hit compare programs, it'll open another screen where basically it returns all the key attributes side by side of this program, of the two programs, so you can compare them. If you want to share that with a student, you can print it out if you wish, if in the office, and hand it over, or if you want to share it via email, what you essentially do is click on the link here, the share link. I already have an email open here, and basically paste the link and then share that with your student. Hopefully that makes sense.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm conscious of time. Go very quickly, guys, so hopefully you're following.
No, that's awesome. I know that ultimately all recruitment partner and counselors need to play with the system and kind of use the sense of curiosity to find, because I know that the search enables and provides a lot of empowerment. Thank you so much, Phil. I know that there is probably, we can allocate a full 1 hour to just search and all the features we have, but I trust our recruitment partner and counselors will play around. And I see that on search, you've also added a button for shared feedback that naturally enables them to give us feedback around what they like to see differently on this page. So I highly recommend, like, ultimately, we appreciate the participant, but you folks are all a player into our product innovation and what's to come in 2025. So I humbly ask not to shy away from providing us with those feedback. I know this is the end of our segment.
On Tuesday, we are sharing the recording with you and all the latest updates in the product, that everything that happened last quarter.